Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Jai Hind. I hope all of you are doing well. Good afternoon, everyone. So, first of all, good afternoon and welcome to this session. I welcome you all in this orientation session of Adhyan Batch 2.0. Good afternoon. So, I hope all of you are doing well. Okay, so this session is about Adhyan Batch 2.0, as you can see from thumbnail also. And today we are going to talk about this one. Like in Adhyan 2.0, what we are going to do basically, what is going to be our strategy, and how you should also be preparing for this current affairs for the upcoming time. So let us first try to understand, like if we are talking about this Adhyan batch, then how all the things are going to be conducted, how we are going to have classes and each and everything. Yeah. So see, first thing is, what is this Adhyan batch? If we talk about this, what exactly is this? So this is your current affairs classes. These are basically current affairs classes. So here we are basically going to have the current affairs classes for UPSC prelims and mains for UPSC. We are going to have this UPSC related current affairs in your Adhyan 2.0 batch. Then the question is, why we have come with this Adhyan 2.0? Why we have come with this Adhyan 2.0? Last year also, in the month of July 2024, we have come with this one batch Adhyan. And this batch was for 2025 UPSC examination. This batch was for 2025 UPSC examination. Now, many of the students have been reading with us. Many of the students, they have been reading the current affairs with us for this 2025 UPSC prelims as well as mains. Now, some of the students, due to multiple reasons, could not get this opportunity to join the Adhyan batch in July or August. And there were demands from many of you that what should be our strategy for current affairs, how we should be preparing the current affairs, especially for prelims or this year examination. So that's why we have come with this Adhyan batch 2.0. Adhyan 2.0. Adhyan 2.0. And in Adhyan 2.0, what is our aim? What do we want to do? Here again, we are going to target 2025 UPSC examination. Here our target is 2025 UPSC examination. This is the target for even Adhyan batch 2.0. So Adhyan batch 1 was there in July, and now we are having this Adhyan 2.0 for 2025 UPSC. How we are going to conduct these classes, what will be the mode of this, that is also something which I am going to tell you in the beginning itself. And then we will see that what should be your strategy, how you should be preparing for the current affairs, how the questions are coming. This is all we are going to discuss. So first thing is, in Adhyan 2.0, we are again going to target 2025 UPSC. And how we are going to do this? See, how we will be doing this. Now, if we look at 2025 examination, there is two components of it. One is your prelims exam and one is mains exam. One is prelims and one is mains exam. So right now, what we are going to focus is in the next 4 to 5 months. In the next 4 to 5 months, we are going to focus specifically on the prelim section. We are having two classes here. One is there on Monday. One of the class is there on Monday and another class is there on Thursday. Monday and Thursday. We are having two classes. So how we are going to proceed with this? On Thursday, we will do the current affairs of last 1 year, from January 2024 to December 2024. We are going to cover the current affairs from January 24 to December 24. This is the timeline which we are going to cover in our Thursday classes. Okay. Like, we will cover each and every topic which is relevant from your UPSC examination in these classes, in the Thursday classes from January 2024 to December 2024. And in this Monday class, we are going to focus on the January 25 to the even April 2025, and even later on, like the current week current affairs. Current week current affairs, that is one thing which we are going to cover in Monday classes. Like right now, if we are talking about on 20th January, that is on Monday, we are going to discuss the current affair of last 1 week, that is from 14th or 13th of January to 19th of January. So we are going to cover the 13th to 19th January in this next Monday class in Adhyan batch 2.0. And in the Thursday classes, we will be covering the current affairs of the previous months from January 24 to December 24. So overall, before your examination, before prelims 2025, what you will find that you will have coverage from January 24 to April 25. You will have this entire 16 months of current affairs with you. For prelims also, for this portion will also cover the portions of mains as well. Okay. So here you will find that on Monday classes, we will be discussing both prelims as well as mains. But on Thursday classes, we will be discussing specifically the prelims related topic. Here we will talk about only prelims topic. Only prelims topic. Okay. Only prelims topic. And in these classes, we are going to cover your entire current affairs from January 24 to April 26, April 25. Now this is one part. This is first part of it. We are going to cover the topics. But what else? The topics are not sufficient. The topics are not sufficient. These topics should be on your tip. You should be able to memorize it at any point of time. Just to give you an example, many of the students are there, like who are attending the YouTube sessions which I am conducting on Monday to Friday. So in these sessions, we have, in the last week, we have discussed about one place, that is Mediterranean Sea. Now when you look at this Mediterranean Sea, this is an area having multiple countries, 20 plus countries are there which are surrounding these areas. But yes, now many of the students who are watching the sessions, now these countries are on their tip with the help of the tricks and with the help of tricks which we have discussed in classes. So in same manner, when we are reading these topics, we will be having multiple tricks and all other things to have them with yourself all the time. You should be able to recall them. You should be able to remember them at all the point. That is the main motto of these classes. So how we are going to do this? How we are going to proceed with this? We will have topics with us. We will have some topics here which is going to be relevant for the examination. Second thing is, we will have multiple questions. We will practice multiple questions so that all these things would be on your tip. It's not that we will just give you topic or notes. We will make sure that you are remembering these topics, you are memorizing these topics, and you are able to recall them in the examination. At the same time, we will have even questions from UPSC previous year questions. Like suppose that if you are reading the current affairs, you should also be getting the idea how UPSC is asking. How UPSC is asking questions from you. So here what we will see that along with the current affairs, we are also going to see the previous year questions which has been asked by UPSC in the past. Okay. And from there, you can get this idea how to solve those questions also. So we will read the topic, we will practice the questions, and we will also go for previous year questions as well. So this is one thing which we are going to do in our Adhyan batch classes starting from 20th of January. Okay. So from next week, like this batch is going to start from 20th. We will have one class on Monday also, and then from Thursday, we will focus on prelims specific classes, prelims specific topic. So this is one thing which we are planning in our Adhyan batch. Now, the second thing is the relevance of the current affairs. The relevance of current affairs. Relevance of current affairs. So can you tell me how many questions are there? How many questions are there in prelims exam? Okay, Nitesh, you can consult once with the administration about this, about the medium part. You can consult once with the administration. I'm sure they will help you. Okay. Yes, Abhishek, you can go through the previous classes. Okay, so just tell me this one part, like if we are talking about our current affairs, can you tell me how many questions are coming from this section? How many questions are there which are coming from the current affairs section? Anyone? How many questions we get here in prelims? Questions in prelims. 10? No, more than 10. Happy birthday, Harshita. Okay, 10 questions. See, if you look at the current affairs, you will find that near about 15-16 questions are there on an average. Sometimes it is even more than that. Sometimes around 20 questions can also be there. But see, there was a time like 2016, 17, 18 or 19 when UPSC was asking you direct question that if any scheme is there in the news. Like right now, if we have this Swamitva scheme in the news or Namo Drone Didi scheme in the news, they could have simply asked that, okay, what is the aim of this scheme or who has launched this? But then now they can ask you about much more like static concepts also with respect to that topic. They can ask you about the application of drones in multiple areas. They can ask you about the possible benefits of that scheme. They can also ask you about the level of this land holding among women in India. So they can relate it with multiple things. They can ask you that how much percentage of women in India are engaged in agricultural activities. A question or a statement may be around this also. A statement may be around about the applications of drone technology. So this is one thing that they will not simply ask you about the topic, like the exact scheme or anything. They will be asking about multiple dimensions of it. That is how they're asking the questions in prelims examination now. Okay. So what we see here that questions in prelims can be around 15, 16. Sometimes it can go even on higher side up to 20 questions also. Okay. But on an average, we are getting 15, 16 question minimum 15, 16. It can go even high as 20, sometimes 20, 25 also. Okay. So this is how we see the relevance in prelims. In the mains examination also, you know that GS paper 2 or GS paper 3 is entirely dynamic. Even in GS paper 1, we see that now there is questions from the questions from the current affairs. And in GS paper 4, if you are reading the topics, you will get multiple examples to use it there. So this is one part, whether we are talking about prelims or mains, in both these sections, we are getting questions from the current affairs. So this is one part, like how this current affairs is relevant even in your prelims exam or mains exam. Now one more aspect. The another thing is, what type of questions are there? What type of questions? Like what is the pattern of the questions? pattern of the question, like how they're asking the questions in UPSC examination. So let us see it subject by subject. Let us see this subject by subject. Like suppose that the first subject, if we can choose from here, polity. The first subject which we can choose from here is polity. Now suppose that this year, all of you may have seen this part, that this simultaneous election was there in the news. Simultaneous election was there in the news. So what can be the possible way of asking questions on this? Suppose we are having this one topic, simultaneous election. Simultaneous election. Okay. Now, see, questions can be asked in multiple manner. Question can be about the history of it. Question can be about the history of it. Like a statement may be there that simultaneous election was prevalent in India till the first or second or third or fourth Lok Sabha election. That it was done in practice till the third Lok Sabha election or fourth Lok Sabha election. Okay. Or till a particular time it was conducted in India. That is one part. Second thing is, they can also ask you about this, that the constitutional amendments which has to be done for simultaneous election. Okay. They can also ask you about the constitutional amendment. Constitutional amendment will be required. Constitutional amendment which might be required with respect to this. Now, right now, this simultaneous election bill is with the parliament. It has not been passed yet. Normally, what we see that normally we see that in the UPSC examination, they are not asking questions on the bills. They are not asking questions on the bills. But suppose that if this becomes an act, then you might expect a question on the provisions of the act. Then you will be getting questions on the provisions of the act if it becomes a law. If it becomes a law, right now it is in the bill stage. It is still there in parliament. If it becomes a law, if it becomes an act, then we can expect a question on this part also. Otherwise, yes, in the mains, you can get any question on this. In the mains, you can get the analysis of this entirely. But when we are talking here about the prelims examination, you will find that if it becomes an act, they can ask you question on this. They can also ask you an easy question. That is also a possibility. They can ask you an easy question. Committee. That which committee has recommended this? Can you tell me which committee has recommended this? Anyone? Which committee has recommended this simultaneous election? Yes, it will be a mixture of very good. It will be a mixture of current affairs and statistics. So tell me this part. If suppose there is a question on simultaneous election, if they ask you about the committee, which committee was there? Can anyone tell me which committee was there which recommended for this simultaneous election? It was a recently formed committee. Anyone, any idea which committee was there which has recommended this? No idea. I think you know about this. If we talk about this committee which led to formation of this or suggestion of this simultaneous election, I think all of you have heard about this in newspapers and everything. It was Ramnath Govind led committee. Yes, Ramnath Govind committee was there. Ramnath Govind committee was there, which was responsible for this. So Ramnath Govind committee. So they can ask you a simple question also like this. Okay. So maybe this is not that much simple question, that since many of you are not aware about it, so it may be not that much simple question, but yes, generally you will find that these type of questions can also be asked. Committee is headed by former President of India, yes, Ramnath Kovind. So that is one part. Then the next thing which we can see is there can be questions on like governance. And in governance, mainly we are getting questions on schemes. We are getting questions on schemes. On schemes, if we look at this, what type of questions are there? On the schemes part, you will find that there may be question about ministry. There can be question about the funding mechanism. There can be question about the objective of this, or there can be question about uniqueness of this, about inclusion or exclusion. Comparison with previous scheme. So when you are looking at the current affairs, you should get this clarity that if they are asking questions, how they are going to ask you like on schemes. On schemes, what may be there? That they can also ask you about the timeline. The timeline, when, for what part it is going to be implemented. So if you have prepared these angles for any scheme, you will be very much confident that if there is any question, on this aspect, on this topic, I will be able to answer it. Okay. So that is one part. In governance also, you get question like this. Okay. Then there is another part. There is another type of question which we see in case of international relations. In international relations. Now, normally what you will find that in IR, they are not asking questions about India's relation with other countries in the prelims examination. In IR, they are asking questions mostly about some of the organizations or groups which has been formed. Okay. So, generally what we will see that UN level organization, like they can ask you about Food and Agricultural Organization, they can ask about World Health Organization, they can ask you about UNESCO, UNICEF, United Nations Environment Program, United Nations Development Program, the United Nations Security Assembly or General Assembly or any other organizations. So they can ask you about these different organizations which are there. Now, there have been some laws or conventions with respect to sea also. Means there are various conventions, international conventions. Okay. So international conventions can also be there, from where you can get the question. International conventions. So there also you will be getting the question. Like right now, there was this High Sea Treaty. So question can be around this also, that what exactly is High Sea? And at the same time, there can be question about this, like what are the objectives of this High Sea Treaty? What is going to be covered under this High Sea Treaty? So all these things can be part of your questions on High Sea Treaty. Okay. There is a question from Veer that current affairs batch for 26, when you will start? Yes, Veer, for 2026 also we will start like very soon, and as soon as it is started, we will inform you. Okay. Now that is one part. Second thing is, there is question from Rakul. Sir, Hindi medium के batch नहीं show कर रहा है. Okay, Rakul, for this you can just ask the team once via your app or website. Okay. Now, the fourth thing which you get here is places in news. This has become very much prominent right now. You will find that per year you are getting 4 or 5 questions from here now. This has become one of the important areas, places in news. So you are getting multiple questions around this area of places in news in the examination. They can ask you about those places which are historical in nature. They can ask you about the places which has been there in the news for some regions. Okay. They can ask you about certain areas which have been facing some extreme conditions. Like right now, if we talk about Yemen was there in the news. If we talk about this, this Morocco was there in the news. If we talk about Israel was there in news. Iran was there in news. Armenia was there in news. So these many countries, their locations, which has been there in the news, they can be asking questions about it, about the important cities. Okay. They can ask you questions about like West Bank. They can ask about Golan Height. Can any one of you tell me, where is this Golan Heights? Where is this Golan Heights? Anyone? Can you tell me where is this Golan Heights? Kajal, about geography optional, as soon as it is announced, you will be informed on the website and the app also. Okay. Can anyone tell me, where do we have this Golan Heights? Anyone? Golan Heights. Yes, border of Israel and Syria. Border of Israel and Syria. So this is the region of Golan Heights. UPSC has also asked about this question in the past. Okay. So there can be question about places in news also. Okay. Then you will find that there will be question also about the economy. This is one of the major section. Economy. Economy is one of the major section. It is one of the major section which is like having so many questions from current affairs. And the best part here is some questions are also applied in nature. So if you are reading the topics, if you are reading the newspapers, if you are understanding the topic, then you will be able to solve it quite easily. Okay. So application plus fact based questions can be seen here. Okay. Application plus fact based. Application plus fact based. So there can be questions about some institutions also. There can be questions about some of the institutions as well. Like they can ask you about SEBI. They can ask you about any other organizations also. Okay. So this is one part. They will be asking you questions about institutions, application, fact-based, etc. etc. Okay. So this is one part that in economy, how they are asking the questions in the current affairs. Then there is a major section that is environment and environment. Okay. In this environment section, again here you will find that there are variety of questions. There are questions with respect to conventions and protocols, which has been there in the news. Convention and protocols. There are questions about new global and national initiatives. Okay. So there can be question about new global and national initiatives. National initiatives. There can be questions about laws and institutions within India. Laws and institutions which has been there in India, they can be asking questions about it. They have even asked questions about policies or rules also. So there can be questions about rules, policies, etc. So these all things can be there in the case of environment. Then we have protected areas, and even species in news which are there. So they can be asking you question about this also, species in news also. So that is one part. Okay. And finally, we have one last thing, but very crucial, that is science and technology. Science and tech. Okay. So if we look at, sorry, this is 6, this is 7. Science and tech. Now in science and tech, this area is all about like the terminologies which have been there, the new discoveries which are there, new technologies which are there. So they can be asking about new tech. They can ask you about new discoveries. They can ask you about diseases. They can ask you about vaccine, medicine. treatment, etc. Okay. They can also ask you about some national or international initiatives. They can ask you about the newer technologies which are getting developed. So that is also one part, like new initiatives. New initiatives. You will also find that this area is also having application based question. Application based. So this is a general idea about the questions which we are having in the prelims exam with respect to different sections. Whether we are talking about polity or economy or environment or science, places in news, all these sections. Why I have given you this idea? Why I have given you these topics? Just to tell you this part, that in our classes, we are going to discuss all these dimensions. We are going to cover all these sections so that your preparation for current affairs can be sufficient, can be adequate, and you can be sure of minimum. Like if they're asking 20 questions, you can be sure of 15 questions that you will be able to solve it in the examination. Okay. So this is one thing which we have seen even in previous year. Okay. Even in last year, we have this current affair classes. Some of you might have attended that sessions also, and we have got very good hit ratio, not just in the current part, but even some static questions which were there were connected with our current coverage. Okay. So this is one thing. Our Adhyan batch is going to start. Okay. Like we are having this Adhyan batch, and for prelims 2025, you can get enrolled in this. We are going to start from next week, and we will be covering this entire topic for UPSC 2025. Okay. I hope it is clear. I hope you got the idea of what we are going to do in Adhyan batch. We are saying that just wait for some time. For 2026, just wait for some time. We might be having some new thing for 2026. Okay. So just wait a little bit. We will do this. For 2026 also, we will do this. Okay. Right now, Veer, I will suggest that just go through our YouTube classes. Just go through the YouTube classes, which is also being conducted on daily basis. And especially for UPSC 2026 prelims and mains, we will be coming with something very short, very soon. Okay. Current affairs के batch के registered. See, Mukul, the registration is already going on. Registration is already going on. Okay. Kaushik, here we are going to focus exclusively on UPSC section. Okay. For current affairs, like for 2025, we already have this registration going on, Mukul. So you can get enrolled there. For those students who are preparing for 2026, right now I would suggest that just go through this YouTube sessions which we are having on daily basis at 5 p.m. And very soon we are also going to have something for UPSC 2026. Okay. Okay, for this, Mukul, just contact once with the administration team. They will be able to guide you much more better about this, because like I won't be having idea about this 1.0 batch, that whether registration is going on not right now. Okay. But even if you go through this batch 2.0, then also you will get the entire thing. Yes, Veer, it will be sufficient. Okay, Mukul, just contact once with team. I will also inform them about this. Okay. Okay. So, yes, Abhishek. Okay. So, thank you, everyone. Let's meet then in the Adhyan batch sessions. We will start with this prelims and prelims preparation, and also we will see the current affairs related to the last week, which will cover current affairs of prelims also and mains also. So Thank you everyone. Let's meet. And today at 6 p.m. we will have one more session about the crash course for this prelims 2025. Okay. Today we were supposed to have this marathon session also, but due to some challenges, due to some issues, we might not be able to have that session today. But very soon we will announce the timing for that also, for marathon session which we were supposed to conduct today. Due to some unavoidable reason, we might not be able to conduct it today. Okay. So for that, I will also be informing you very soon. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone. Let's meet for Adhyan batch. A Hindi batch is also going on simultaneously. That will be conducted by Jeet sir. So that is also going on. Those students who want to enroll in Hindi medium can also go through the Hindi medium Adhyan batch. So it is available in both sections in for 2025 prelims. Adhyan batch English and Hindi both has been launched. Okay. Anjali, due to some unavoidable reason, we could not do this today, but we will definitely announce it very soon. Okay. Okay, Mukul, just give me some time. I will talk to team about this. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. For crash course, we will be having this discussion today itself, Megha. For crash course, we will have this session today itself at 6 p.m. So there I will be discussing about this also, crash course also. Okay. So thank you, everyone. Let's meet at 6 p.m. then, and then we will be discussing the remaining things. Thank you for staying connected. All the best, and let's meet at 6 p.m. Thank you.